Yes, so good day and welcome once again to Talk Your Talk. It's always a pleasure being here. Well, hey, what do we talk about at this time? Well, based on what is happening in our world currently, well, we need to talk about it. We need to get around it because everybody's asking questions. Everybody is looking for answers. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying most definitely our world is in trouble. Simple. Now, we are aware how what is happening currently with the coronavirus and stuff like that. Now, the world over, well, according to prior knowledge, it started in China. Okay? Now, the thing about it is that even me, I spoke about there is a whole possibility that the Chinese created this virus to get rid of old people. Because we know a couple of years ago they were talking about they are overpopulated basically with old people because of their one child making policy. So they are changing to two children now. You could make at least two children now in China. So I was thinking that the fact that China is basically overpopulated with everything else, because China do have poverty areas and stuff like that, poverty-stricken areas. So I'm thinking that there is a possibility that they created this virus and, I mean, do it in such a way that it will destroy old people. Now, I'm looking for a motive when I'm gonna make my judgment. I think there is a motive there. Okay, that is how I calculate my thing. But what have happened over the past few days is that you realize that China is saying that this virus is a foreign virus. It did not originate in China. Okay? It was brought to China by the US military. So, in other words, what China is actually saying here is that they were attacked by the US via this biological weapon, which you call the coronavirus. That is what they are stating. Now, we have Iran with maybe the most cases in the world, possibly, right? Claiming that this virus was created maybe in an American lab and they actually deployed this virus in Iran. Russia is saying the same thing. So what you realize when you look at this thing is that the world is at war biologically. Okay, we don't know if they'll be sharing blues openly just now, but if that is the case, then we could safely say that we are at war. So you don't know if or when some biological weapon will be fired off by Russia. It might be fired off by the Chinese and stuff like that. Okay? And then what I realize is that also, with what is happening, you heard the news come out now. Well, most of those kind of news always come out via American news agencies, right? They said that the leader in North Korea, right, killed a person that was infected with the coronavirus. You understand what is happening? So right there, what is happening is that they're trying to make certain people look bad, you could say. Certain people without compassion and everything like that. Now let me tell you something. Something serious is brewing because they have the policy of giving the dog a bad name before they hang it. You know that is the American policy from ever since. They make you look bad in the eyes of people, then they attack you and to justify what they do. No. So let's assume that the Chinese actually did it. The Chinese did it and they decided to put it on everybody. Or let's say, well, it have a Chinese, American, maybe Russian, whatever collaboration to do that. Right? Because these people, you know, you can't trust those people. Whether they are from an imperialistic country, a communist country, you just can't trust these people. These people and them would laugh and enjoy themselves behind your back, and in front of you, they look like enemies. You can't trust them. Okay? You have to remember that. You have to look at this thing with an open mind. Okay? So with all these things that is happening here, all these accusations and stuff like that, it seems as though people would die. People will die. They will die because, I mean, it's crazy out there. So let us come take our heads from the clouds and come to reality. Recently, there was this video coming from Cuba stating that they have the treatment. They have a vaccine for the treatment of the coronavirus. Okay? They have a treatment for that. That had been coming out from Cuba. Right? You have this on social media and stuff like that. Okay? Now, the Minister of Health in Cuba said that to get the cure for this thing, to get the treatment, the vaccination or whatever it is, they had help from China. So, in other words now, I am thinking that, how is it that China set up their own virus and then they helped Cuba in such a short time to get a vaccine or a treatment? Well, I don't know. That leaves you to speculate according to how your spirit leads you. Now, but the point I am making is this, that if Cuba has the treatment, a vaccination for this thing that is killing people, do you not think that the world should at least reach out to Cuba? Well, I mean, it's people's lives. I think so. But do you actually think that with all the rhetoric that was coming from America and Donald Trump for the past few years concerning Cuba, do you actually think that they would humble themselves and go to Cuba and ask for the treatment? I don't think so. Because when they look at Cuba, they're looking at Cuba with like total hatred. They hate Cuba. You understand what I'm saying? So it will be difficult for them with their false pride to step up and say, okay, let's save our people by going to Russia, asking Russia for their treatment, even if they have to pay it or they will get the formula or whatever to make it mass produce it and stuff like that. The other thing that is really amazing, with all these countries who call themselves first world countries, they have all the up-to-date equipments and stuff like that in their labs. And they can't come up with a cure. Russia, Cuba is using not too modernized equipments. Because people always say when you go to Cuba, you don't get like real modernized equipments, to do their thing. Yet, they are producing. So what if they open trade to Russia so Russia could get equipments? Cuba could get their equipments, they could trade and they could do stuff. Then Cuba will be a shining light in our region. And I could guarantee you it would be so when the time comes. But the powers that be in places like America and Europe and those other places, they don't want that light to shine. Because Cuba is a place that sends people everywhere to help out people, humanitarian, you understand, efforts all over the earth. Which nation does be doing that? You understand? We have to give Jackie jacket and Mary she panty, man. Which nation does be doing that? I just tell people that if we in Grenada retain the friendship of Cuba, the way we had a close relationship and friendship with Cuba in the past, if we could only, just capture and keep that friendship, we would have better roads in Grenada. Right now, the Cubans would have come and they would do what they could and they would help us along, because that is how they are. And when they are dealing with their friends, they're dealing in truth. They'll die for their friends. Those are the people we should be looking for, not people coming and build expensive hotel when tourists ain't coming nowhere. You understand? So if we could really consolidate that friendship with Cuba, because they are our people, we can't have them off and on. You understand? Have them as an ally, a real, like a brother, like a blood brother, like a brother with different mothers. Have them like that. Those are your friends. Those are the people who came and built your airport. But how much money you paid for the airport? Well, you tell me when you get it. You understand? How many equipments you bought to build the airport in Grenada here? You tell me. We get a whole international airport, and there was nothing about any money coming out in because we didn't have this kind of money lying around to build any airport, but we got our airport, right? That is friendship. You understand? And those are the kind of friendship we have to actually consolidate and keep. Not the kind of friendship that come in 1983, shoot up your place, kill some people and rob you. Take all your equipments, take all your buses, all your truck, all your van and go. We don't want this kind of friendship. You understand? This kind of friendship is friendship with benefit. You understand? We don't need that here. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? No. They could always do certain things. That is the powers that be, the people that hate poor people. You understand? They could go down in China and definitely send out the thing. It could happen. It's a theory. You understand? Nobody have like straight up proof. Least of all, I don't have straight up proof. I could only speculate. As I said, I do believe China had a motive for doing that. You understand? The point I'm making is this, that we definitely have to look into all these things. And they could do it in such a way and make you think that it is China do it. They could do it in a way that make you think that it is America do it. They could do it in such a way that they could even think, well, is Iran do their own thing for themselves? They are on a suicide mission. They could do it in a way that like that. One of the countries I don't trust ever is that country you call Israel. You see these people down there, these people and them is born criminals. And I personally know that these people and them would kill people. You understand? If you could better their position. They always does that. No. So with that being said, we are back to the fact that Russia, I always say Russia, Cuba had the treatment. Okay? Cuba had the treatment. And if Cuba have the treatment, then Cuba will treat its people. If you want help, if you want help, you could go to Cuba and get help if you have it, right? Well, listen, the kick. It had this story ship that was sailing around. All those imperialist and capitalist countries refusing to accept the ship because they had a few people on board that was sick. So that ship was just out there doing the limbo dance then, just limboing around. No place, it can't go anywhere. Because any port that was called, once he mentioned that you have 5 or 6 people on board, they bluntly telling you that you cannot dock on the port So they all there. So who do you think came to these people's rescue? The same capitalist and imperialistic people that were on the ship. Who came to their rescue? Cuba. Cuba came to the rescue. Cuba say, hey man, they call Cuba. You know? That was the last resort. So when they call Cuba, Cuba don't let down. So Cuba say, okay, come into my port, man. Come, eat some food, relax yourself, and let us give you some treatment if you want to. So these people, most of those people that were on the ship were basically from England and the UK and Europe and those places over there. So Cuba took them in. And when Cuba took them in, Cuba take care of them. I don't know what is the updated version of it right now, whether they go back already. But then they have the option to fly back to their destination, right? If I was them, I stayed in Cuba one time. I'm not going back. Okay, simple as that. I'm not going back to those kind of system. These people that have no compassion and no love for the human race. I was not going back in the country anymore. I would have stayed in Cuba if I was any one of these people on board, right? End the story. So that is the difference between our kind of people and they kind of people. You understand? When the chips are down, they throw you to the wolves. They throw you under the bus. They don't care. And Cuba always come to the rescue. Hands on. Now, currently, in our country, Grenada, we don't know if we have it yet. I don't know if in the morning we'll wake up and hear somebody say we are 2 or 3. I don't know. Currently, there is no word out here that state that anybody have this thing in Grenada, right? Most people say that it cannot survive too much in hot climate. Well, I want the sun to shine hot, 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 hot for the next 2-3 weeks straight through. Even if it dry trees, once it killing corona, I'm okay with that. Okay, but you can't get no hand sanitization in the grocery nor the pharmacies and stuff like that. You might have to create your own. Some people say they mix in aloes, they blend the aloes with maybe peroxide and methylated spirit or rubbing alcohol, and you make this combination of things. Maybe you don't make it too strong and stuff like that, and it become like jelly and stuff. You put that in a bottle and you have hand sanitizer. Obviously, the rum will keep the gel from the aloes and stuff like that. Okay, so maybe you can try some of that. That is providing you get peroxide, because I actually went to get some peroxide and it finished. So I don't know if they have anywhere else. If they have anywhere and you could get, you get it and you do your thing. Now go through the safety procedures, do what you gotta do. You understand? It is up to you. You do what you gotta do. Don't go out of the way and be careless. Right? Do what you have to do. Drink your plenty water, drink a bottle of Feral, drink Bush, drink all kind of thing. You understand? Drink them hot, because the hotter the better. You understand? So you do all this kind of stuff and keep your immune system up. Take a sweat. Do some push-up, do a little jogging. You understand? Burn this thing out, because the more sweat you sweat and thing and the body get real active, your body will become stronger. So what will be happening, that it will be just burning out corona. So do that too. And we live in the right place. We are in the tropics. You understand? So try not to take on too much of the confusion that is happening politically across the world right now, because everybody is accusing everybody right now. So it's pure confusion right now, right? And then we also know about the locust that is eating out plants and stuff like that in East Africa and stuff like that. So we have a lot happening in the world. And then the other thing again, which comes to me as a next joke, is like NASA said that they see this meteor or whatever it is coming towards Earth. Well, they say that it never rains but it pours or something. So it's like when you don't have luck, they say wet toilet paper could cut you. right? So they say a next thing coming is not something to get you panicky or frightened or anything of this sort. Most of the things that is happening, it is beyond our control, right? All we gotta do is to make sure that we have a good relationship with our Father, Yahuwah. We have to make sure about that. And if we are sure about that and we have faith in Yahuwah, I don't think there is any way for fear to come into our heart. We should not be having those kind of fear and stuff like that. Whatever happens, as I always tell people, whatever happens, if it happens, is because our Elohim allow it to happen. And if he allow it to happen, then it is all good. It is all just. It doesn't matter. Have your faith in him. Don't let these politicians frustrate you. Please don't let them frustrate you. Live in peace. Live blessed. I will most definitely see you in another video. Fear less. Live fearless, but not careless. I'll see you. Take your time. Peace.